What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my 31 and 31 movie reviews of the spooky season and month of October. So today is day 10. So today's review is going to be D. Snyder's Strangeland, which I think is underrated as fuck. Um, I love this movie too. This is another one of the ones I found when I was younger. I was watching Cinemax After Dark or whatever it used to be on those channels. That used to be a horror channel like Cinemax Extreme or Showtime Extreme or some shit like that. I remember checking this out and it was like D. Snyder Strange. I'm like, oh, what is this movie? This movie is fucking incredible. I can't gush about this movie enough, and this movie speaks to a niche audience, kind of. And I mean, anybody can enjoy it, but a lot of the people that enjoy this are people that are in the body mod community that love body modifications, piercings, tattoos, branding, stretching of the ears, stretching of the skin, like fucking insane. Um, D. Snyder is incredible in it, as you know he would be. Another person that's in this movie is future Velma from James Gunn's written Scooby Doo 1 and 2. Um, also, she also played in the Avengers as Hawkeye's wife. Very attractive woman. I don't understand why they got her to play Velma. Not saying nothing's wrong with Velma, just Velma's more like a bland character, and she's not really bland. She's actually very attractive. So what they did in Scooby Doo with her makeup was fucking perfect. Um, the soundtrack is amazing in this film, like legit. You start off right from the title card. You start off with D. Snyder's haunting track to open the movie, which is so good. I love that song. Um, and then you get to see what's going on, and then you get brought to these two girls that are talking about how they're going to meet the love of their life on the internet, because this was around the time where America Online first started up, because they actually do a homage to America Online the way it starts. And they get invited to a party and they walk into the wrong party. Uh, you get introduced to the one girl's father, Genevelle or G- Genevelle. I forget how to pronounce her name. Um, Her father is a cop. He's looking for her, and they end up finding the body of her friend in a trunk. So uh, he tries to play on the internet to lure this man out. And then you get introduced to uh, Captain Howdy, who is played by D. Snyder, who is a sadist, who is a rapist, because they do allude that he does rape his victims. Um, and he has some of the best makeup I've ever seen for tattoos. How he has his whole like side of his body just tattooed is fucking incredible. He has a fucking double zero gauge through his fucking septum, which is as big as a pinky, which is insane to me. Um, but he has the look. Like D. Snyder looks amazing in this film. You also have a cameo, not really a cameo, but a uh, not very long on screen. Amy Smart, I think that's her name, Amy Smart from Road Trip, and she was in Mirrors. She's been in The Butterfly Effect. She plays the cop's niece, and she helps him get into the chat room to find this guy. You also have Robert Englund in this movie. He is good as well. He plays his role perfectly as an ignorant, wife abusing, even though he doesn't abuse her, but you could tell he's an abuser just by the way he acts toward people. And he's a drunk, and Robert Englund did this role perfectly. Um, they end up, the cop ends up finding where his daughter is and saves her, and they arrest him. And it takes place, what, I think a year later, like a year goes by or something, or 2 years or whatever. A bunch of years go by and he gets released because he's changed. He's on medication. He's went to the program. He redeemed himself. But the townspeople will not leave him alone. So when he gets out, he has a press conference to be left alone. And of course, Robert Englund's character's there, and a Bible thumping chick that says, "I hope you burn in hell, you stupid son of a bitch." Remember all these people that fuck with him. So, Robert Englund's daughter ends up going out with her boyfriend to a hotel. They end up having sex. They end up passing out. So she doesn't come home on time. So, of course, the mother says that Captain Howdy has him, and they go after him. So they abduct him from his house, and they go and hang him. And, of course, they think he's dead. The branch breaks. It starts raining. His makeup comes off of his face that he hides his tattoo, and the tattoo starts to show. And he says, "What a rush." Then he goes and starts abducting these people who fucked with him. And what I can say is the most torturous fucking way that I've ever seen. Like the one chick that called him a stupid son of a bitch, that Bible thumper, she's tied up and has all these fucking needles, like these fucking needle heads, or the needles that you do the piercings in, and he's putting them all through her chest and her body. It's fucking wicked. Robert Englund has his mouth sewn shut, and he has a huge needle put through both his nipples, and it looks like a big ass hook, and literally decimates his fucking nipples. Like legit. Like it's his own little fucking horror show. And let me go back, but before they catch him and he gets redeemed, there's a scene, I forgot to talk about this. There's a scene in a club, and it looks like a hardcore, like metal, BDSM, fucking piercing body mod, like fucking bar. And what leads them there is when they find the cop's daughter's friend who went to the party in the trunk of her car. They find a septum spike in there that is a double zero gauge, and the guy says, whoever's got the piercing with that gauge has one big septum that you could put your finger through. And I'm like, oh, fucking creepy. So they're on the hunt for him again. The cop's daughter gets kidnapped again, and pretty much blames the cop for kidnapping his daughter a second time. Says, you were wrong. You should have stopped them from taking the law in their own hands. But let's be honest, if that was your kid, would you do the same thing? I know I would have. I'd be like, fuck this dude. Justice is justice. Fuck it. So Captain Howdy ends up kidnapping the cop's daughter again, and pretty much goats of, "Come find me. I have your daughter. She was withering when I was inside her," and I was like, oh shit, so he's a rapist, besides being a sadist. So the cop ends up finding him. They end up having a showdown at the end at the church, and they literally burn Captain Howdy alive. And I could not love this movie anymore. The soundtrack is great. It's got really good nu metal hits from the 90s when it came out. The makeup is great. The movie has a lot of tension. It's an underrated classic in my mind. So if you have not seen Strangeland, go out and find it. I'm not too sure if it's streaming anywhere. I know you can rent it last I checked. It's worth watching. It's only a little over an hour and a half, but and it goes fast. Like there's no dragging of this movie. It's really, really good. All the performances are great. Again, soundtrack's great. Performances is great. The body modification, special effects look fucking intense and fantastic. D. Snyder looks unrecognizable in this role. Just great film. So if you get a chance, definitely go out and check this out if you can find it. I own it. I bought it because I love this movie so much. So that's my review of D. Snyder's Strangeland. Tomorrow will be day 11, and we will be talking about The Mutilator, one of the freaking most awesome 80s sleazy slashers that I've ever seen, and I fucking love it. I cannot wait to talk about it with you guys. It is another one of my favorite movies. I am a big horror fan. There's not many horror movies I do not like. When I do get to one I do not like, I will tell you why I do not like it. But as always, if you like this content, please like this video. Please subscribe. The more subscribes I get, the bigger the channel can get, and the more things I can do for the local 716 horror fans out there. But I want to make sure that you're enjoying this content, and I'm putting the time and effort in putting in all this because you guys are enjoying this. So, until tomorrow, everybody, as always, stay creepy, my friends.